All right, welcome to week 14. This week we are dealing with quantitative analysis, description, and inference. Um, this guy right here is Mr. Oliver, and he is one of our younger cats. We've had a number of bad health scares with him. Um, he spent a long time in the vet, cost us a lot of money. His superpower is the ability to projectile vomit all over the place. And he does it in a way calculated to maximize the splatter pattern, which kind of leads us into our discussion of description and inference within, in trying to understand the role that quantitative analysis plays in political science. So let's talk a little bit about what we're looking at this week. The main thing that you want to understand from this week is these notions of measures of central tendency. And again, what is what does a measure of central tendency help us to do? And again, what are they? Average, median, mode. What do these things? These three kind of basic measures of central tendency. What do they help us to understand? For example, if you look for a while, we were attempting to do pre-tests and post-tests on um, on our American government classes. And what we found is that when you do the average, when you do the median grade, when you do the mode grade, what are they? The average grade is you take all the grades together, you average, you divide them by the total number of instruments that you're using, and then you divide it by that number, and that gives you basically an average grade, an average score. What is the score that is most likely to be in the median? But it's not it's not the only center that you're going to find. Similar to that, you also look for median grades, which again, there, what you want to do is you want to know what particular thing are you seeing the most of. If you're seeing C scores, you're basically saying, well, right now I'm looking at kids that have about a C understanding in the material. And then you've got the mode, which is um, that area that is dead center, right? That's where everything is. And again, it's not the same, because you could have some kids that are blowing the roof off of an exam, and then you've got some kids that are doing horribly. So what do all these things enable you to do? You get an average, you get what's most observed, what scores are most observed, but then you also get, you know, accounting for outliers. How are kids doing overall in the class? And one of the things that we found, again, in a 1,000 level class, is that a lot of our kids were not coming into class with what we would consider to be an acceptable average understanding. The average was typically in the 60 percentiles. And what we found when we added in the post test, you're also finding out, oh no, you know, these kids aren't improving that much. And so, what we're really discovering is that all things, taken equally, that we got kids that don't know enough about government, and they're not able to improve enough over a 16-week semester to really, look at it and say, now here's what we have to do to get, dramatic improvement. And so, it's been causing us to think really long and hard about how we're teaching government, and what we need to try and get our partners at the secondary level, what we need to get them doing to try and get us to a better position. Again, what it points to is that both of, there are plenty of problems on both secondary and higher ed as it relates to managing, core classes. And so there's a lot of work that all levels have to do. But that's where we're at. So it gets back to another, reality, and that is, counting things versus things that count, right? You know, Quantitative measures are, I think, really valuable, and they can be very powerful. They can provide powerful insights into certain kinds of human behavior. Other behaviors are not so, usefully treated through quantitative methods. But again, it gets back to this notion that you have to be able to identify measures that that really makes sense, where you get it, where you're getting a data point that is helping you to understand what's going on in the world. I believe this week we only have the forum and the quiz. Remember, you've got your critical thinking paper, and again, what am I looking for? I'm going to actually try to post a video in the Dropbox for that assignment probably later on this week. If you note me scratching, it's because I'm having allergic reaction to the Percocet, which is the new uh, pain med that the new opioid of choice. So anyway, um, let's have a great week. I think we got a lot of work to cover. Uh, we don't have a lot of time left, but I'm really hopeful that we can cover all this material and you guys can have a good learning experience from it.